Hi, thank you for joining me today. I have a couple things to discuss, and I don't know if anybody's going to join me, so I might well be talking to myself, but that's okay because I'm trying to talk things out and trying to realize that this really is an ongoing path of out of obesity. Uh, I have my washing machine going on in the background, so hope that won't interfere with my discussion today. So, I've been doing a lot of research, and I've been telling you about my inflammation, and I'm eating my breakfast, which is a little protein, a little bit of egg, and a little bit of greens, cabbage, and there is some ground up chicken. Yeah. Um, I have an unfilled lap band since 2012. I'm just going to do a recap. You can go back in my videos, it's all there. And I'm fully transparent. Um, I try to be real here because this journey has been an awakening for the last past 6 years. I've been learning new things about myself, discovering new things about myself, realizing some things about myself through videos when I go back and review, and then it leads me to another rabbit hole. So, through the past, my transition has taken some twists and turns and ups and downs and plateaus and personal growth, emotional growth, and psychological growth and a body that is aging. Yeah, I'm 58. I'm going to be 58 December 5th. So I have age going on here. We cannot always be young, vibrant, but we want to try to maintain our best quality of life, to be the best you can possibly be, and to be because we are bariatric patients now. I had the lap band in 2012. I had a surgical weight loss of about 3 months, and then the real reality set in that the tool that I chose did not work the best metabolically effectively as I hoped it would, and not realizing a couple underlying medical issues that I truly did have. And I won't go into that on that video. You can go back and look at my videos. I'm postmenopause. My maintaining my weight throughout the years of my youth, say from when I was a teenager till I was about 40, um, 35. They were some easy years, right? I didn't go on a binge. I wasn't closet eating. I wasn't being a sloth on the couch. I was paying attention to my body. I was, so to speak, living my life as a young adult, working, going to school. Then I became a mother at 20 some years old, 26. I've had three pregnancies in my life. One adult child who is now one girl who is 33 years old, and she's a mother of her own baby. Who AJ is 17 months old. But yeah, so I really use YouTube as a resource of information. Now, my lap band was unfilled in September. Well, I don't remember the actual date, but it was in 2016 when I really was doing some hardcore exercise for about 3 years. And not really knowing about what I was doing to my body unconsciously, I was creating an inflammation shitstorm. And yeah, so I'm trying to get to this channel that I really want you to look at. It's called York Cardiology, and it's about inflammation. It's a doctor. He's a cardiologist, and it's his channel right here. I don't know if you can see that. Really stupid commercials. But it's your cardiology. He's a doctor. He's a Indian guy. He has a lot of information on his channel.
I'm a cardiologist in York, and today I wanted to do
I don't know if he's from Britain.
The subject of high blood pressure.
He has a lot of information on his channel.
A lot of people. It causes a lot of anxiety and concern. And
he has about
actually know what it means,
inflammation and PPIs. You really need to go and look at that, because
I wanted to do a video on high blood pressure.
This information, because we have a high prevalence
to try and make it easy to try and understand what blood pressure really is, and
PPI, gastric inflammation, reflux. Reflux has plagued me in the last couple years. It's all about the inflammation.
Hi guys. My name is Sanjay Gupta. I'm a consultant cardiologist in York.
I think he's from Britain. But you need to check out this channel.
It's pretty hectic, as you probably realize.
But he talks about PPIs. He talks about inflammation. He talks about
I'm really sorry if I haven't been able to answer. I will promise.
Significant information regarding us with reflux disease, heart disease, and stuff. Please find his videos.
Apologies.
York Cardiology, and you might find some health topics that might pertain to your issue.
I wanted to particularly say thank you to Michael Little.
Inflammation is for your support and for all the a big deal. Inflammation is a big deal for my body. I have been chronically inflamed for a couple years, and I kept wondering why the scale has been going up. Now, I haven't been absolutely perfect, but I have been following the weight loss surgery rules. Now, I've been unfilled since 2016, so I basically have no bariatric tool. I do get stuck, and if it's the wrong kind of food that I'm eating, usually I don't get stuck on a slider food, which is candy, cookies, potato chips. I get stuck on hard, dense protein, right? If I add liquid to it, stews and soups like that, it'll slide through and I won't get stuck. But if I eat the appropriate foods that I'm supposed to eat, I'm in extreme pain. Then I have to throw up, and then it causes inflammation in my body. So I think that is the catalyst of a lot of things that are going on with my weight gain, because I haven't really gone off the rails too bad. They say, oh yeah, you got to eat 3 cups of food, no snacking forever and ever, and you have to maintain the bariatric rules. No soda, no cookies, no sweets, no carbs. You have to keep your carbs under 50, your protein 60, 80. You'll have to exercise 7 days a week, at least an hour a day of some kind of movement that raises your heartbeat at least 50%. Right. So whether that's walking, swimming, cycling, aerobics, some kind of movement that you enjoy that elevates your heart rate to activate your cardiovascular system so blood can go through your body. It's specifically not for weight loss, although weight loss can be a component, but the idea is to keep your muscles, your balance, and movement intact for at least 1 hour per day. Now, maybe you have a physical job like my husband, who walks all day long for about 7 to 8 hours a day. and I put this little tracker on his, which is, I have a Garmin. It measures my steps, and this is a Garmin Phoenix. This watch, I have a lot of Garmin products, but this is my latest Garmin. And this is a tracker. It tracks your sleep. It tracks a lot of things. So can the Phoenix. Um, but yeah, and so my husband walks about 25,000 steps a day at work. 25,000, and that's just at work. So he walks about 8 miles every day at work. Now my husband doesn't have a weight problem. He's been skinny all his life. He's an ectomorph. So yeah, and he just eats usually one meal, sometimes 2 meals a day. He doesn't eat 3 meals, but he is a grazer. He is a grazer. So yeah, and he's never been on a diet either, and he doesn't come from a family of fatties. So getting back, so yeah, inflammation. So check his channel out. It's York Cardiology, Dr. Gupta, and I think he's British. He's an Indian guy, and he has a lot of excellent videos about health, nutrition, medical problems, especially PPIs and what it does, inflammation. I specifically don't have the PPI video up because I couldn't find it, but it's somewhere on his channel. I mean, magnesium. He has a lot of good videos about his channel, and I use I use he has about cardiology, pacemakers, um, hormonal changes, a lot of great information, natural ways to heal GERD. Um, you are what you eat, especially, you know. So I have gone through a transition of eating patterns throughout my 6 years of bariatrics. I followed the bariatric diet for the first, I say the first religiously for the first 3 years. Uh, then I became a triathlete in 2013. So I did triathlon for 2013 to 2016. Then I got hurt with lymphedema, and that's another type of inflammation. Any type of inflammation, arthritis, autoimmune disease, that's all inflammation in your body. Say if you have a cut, if you have, say if you have a plastic surgery, if you have plastic surgery, that is inflaming your body, whether or not you realize that or not. But if you have a constant needing of some kind of going on in your body, like acid reflux inside, that is inflammation in your body, which causes a reaction and then it causes weight gain. So, if you notice, a lot of people who, after have plastic surgery, seem to get their body cut and get all the fat cut off, but they wind up going up in weight, and that's the reason because they raise their inflammatory markers, um, and that's why they tend to gain weight. Now, a lot of people have cosmetic surgery, plastic surgery to remove excess skin, but they wind up going back to their set point because the body doesn't like to lose weight at all. So yeah, so I just want to go over some supplements that in the PPI video that he has talks about anemia and how we bleed internally from acid reflux. And guess what? Then have to have iron infusions. So it's a constant vicious cycle. And I see a lot of patients who are in the weight loss community. And one of my bestie girls, bestie friends who had RNY, she had to have several iron infusions because she revised from, what is it? She had Barrett's esophagus She had Lappan, and then she got Barrett's esophagus. Then she had acid reflux, terrible acid reflux. She had revised or converted to RNY, and now she's on chronic. She has chronic anemia, which has stabilized, but she had several iron infusions, and she's gained back 75% of her weight. So yeah, weight gain is not because possibly sometimes you're not following the rules. You got to think it through. And I realized, come to find out, that last night I spent the whole night coughing. I did just take a Zantac, and it's a constant vicious cycle with this um, PPI, acid reflux, GERD. I'm throwing up, getting stuck. It's a constant inflammation in my body, which is causing my weight gain. Right. Trying to everything that I can read up on inflammation. But then again, when I exercise and I do over exercise, or I'm coughing all night long, or if I'm throwing up, or I'm PBing, or I have inflammation in my body from arthritis, I have knee pain, I have joint pain. Yeah, because I'm 58 years old. So if I don't sleep, if I have emotional upset, which is depression, all these things inflame your body. So, anyway, I do take a multivitamin. I'm going to go over my supplements. A lot of times when we are deficient or we have acid reflux, it causes a issue with anemia, which causes our iron to go down, which causes folate deficiency. It causes, and that's another thing, having the proper blood test to find out if you are anemic, not necessarily chronically low anemia. You have to have a ferritin level. They have to check different things. Pernicious anemia. There's a lot of things. If you're menstruating, a woman, those things really, it's a big deal. So you might even have to see a hematologist or a gastroenterologist to see if you're bleeding in your gut, bleeding in your rectum. You can go on that whole medical constant Ferris wheel of going to doctor and doctor to doctor to doctor. I don't have any medical insurance. I lost my job in June of 2017. Thank God I don't have to take any prescription medicines, else I would be in deep shit. I would be in deep doo because I don't have any medical insurance since June of 2017. So thank you that I don't have any chronic medical conditions um, that I can't manage. So yeah, so I take a multivitamin, I take a Centrum, and that's usually every day. But then some of the supplements, I take a lot of different supplements and I rotate them. I take a super vitamin B complex, um, and I take a vitamin B12, and this is 1,000 milligrams, and this is time released. Um, I do take a CQ10. If you do take, I don't take any cholesterol medicine, but if you do take a cholesterol medicine, you might want to look into that. CQ10 deficiency, yes, it's real. Your doctor may not tell you, but you need to research that for yourself. I take a C vitamin. I take that twice a day. Natural C. I try to get it from the sun. It's wintertime. I'm in Maryland. I don't get out as much. Ultraviolet light, the lack of vitamin C. You might be deficient, so you might want to check. I take a C vitamin twice a day, in the morning, at night. For my gut health, I take a different types of probiotics. I may take fermented vegetables. I may eat some kimchi. I eat salads. I eat cabbage. I drink kombucha, and sometimes I brew my own. I Yogurt. I eat several different types of yogurt. Goat yogurt, plant-based yogurt, animal yogurt, different kinds of yogurt. I look in the back of the yogurt to see specifically what kind of probiotic strain it's in to make sure my gut is getting the appropriate amount of um, strains of probiotic. Now, remember when you get your stomach cut, I didn't have my stomach cut. A lot of people get 80% of their stomach cut out. When you remove part of your stomach, you are removing those viable nutrients that your microbiome lives on, right? Medical doctors don't recognize that, so you need to research that in yourself. So you need to build up your microbiome again with those little bugs because they are necessary. And they say that we were 90% of our body more than DNA particles. We are 90% bugs and worms. That is directly connected from our gut to our brain. And you can research the microbiome. You could research that for months and months. And they don't really know how many biological species are in the microbiome that are connected with our human body, that science are really still investigating this phenomenon. And within the last 10 years, they have just discovered the species that are directly connected that from our brain and our gut health. Prior to that, they weren't fixed on that. They were fixed on genetics and DNA and getting that the what do you call that the DNA sequencing map, you know. But now they are fixated on looking at the microbiome map because there is certain species that is directly related to our human body, and that's a whole nother thing that you leave the professionals up to, and you can research that on YouTube. I think I've spent 2 years researching the microbiome. So yeah, so I do a lot of supplements. This is only part of them. This is only part of the supplements that I routinely take. There's and I rotate them, and some things I just stop and I find come across new ones. Sometimes I take a B6. I take a 3, 6, and 9, omega 3, 6, and 9. Um, when I went vegan for 12 months, although it's good for some people, it really wasn't good for me. No, it really wasn't good for me. So even 6 years out, I have to be careful of my quantity, what I put on my fork. It has to be small, and I have to chew. If I don't chew, I'll get stuck. So, lack of protein. My hair has been all funked up since 6 months out. My hair has never been the same. But I'm a sweet person. I like sweets, and I'll admit to that. This is ground chicken. I do better with ground up meat. I don't want to be in pain, and I don't want to have acid reflux. I don't want a PB. So I have to be mindful of that. So I do have a food prep over there, and it consists of, because I'm on this computer, I have a cabbage coleslaw that I made myself. And that's another thing on this guy's channel. He talks about whole foods. How our body wasn't really designed to eat processed foods. Some people. I mean, my husband is a human trash can. It doesn't matter what he eats. He can eat garbage. Garbage he can graze Saturday and Sunday. Grazes all day on garbage food, processed foods, TV dinners. He won't eat the Brussels sprouts that I make or my fried cabbage and, you know, natural, organic if I can. I'm on the cheap now because I'm pretty broke. So I'm going to have to get a job in January. Yeah, some bullshit job. I'm not going back to healthcare because I don't want to be around those germs. So yeah, this is my truth. You know, I cannot watch these mukbangs. Sorry, it triggers me really bad. Just freaks me out. I mean, for the 3 years, I was so strict, and it was just like torture. It was torture because I wouldn't eat this, I wouldn't go socialize, I wouldn't go to the movies because I was afraid of temptation. I wouldn't go to Christmas parties, I wouldn't go to picnics. I mean, yeah. And if I went, I took my own food. And after a while, it just becomes like, like I was obsessed. And I turned a little orthorexic. Yeah, orthorexic. I had a touch of that. Orthorexia. Yes, I did. And that wasn't healthy either. So, being vegan for 12 months, that really set me into a total obsession over food, even more so. So, I try to choose the best foods for my body, natural foods. Sometimes I just give in and I say, I want to eat, I want to binge out on those cookies or cakes or whatever. Now, I find that, say, if I eat a little bit of yogurt and I'll put some goji berries in there, or I'll put half a banana, or I'll eat maybe half of orange. But sometimes that's not good enough because my brain wants that highly palatable um, sweet. And now I was never really like, uh, I say, I only had binge eating disorder, and I didn't know it was binge eating disorder until I investigated it myself because I didn't even on my psych test when I went for my lab band. It was just a bullshit psych test I paid $225 for just to get me up through the surgery. We didn't go into any psychological issues either. So a couple times they have raised their ugly head because yeah, I could say I have some psychological issues. I don't think anybody is free of any psychological issues. I think some of us, all of us, probably 99 cents of people in the world that have some kind of psychological issue, um, either from the past, or it manifests itself in some kind of struggle throughout your life. When my mom was sick, I had depression, you know, and I dealt with that. I really did. I dealt with that, and you really have to come to terms, and try to figure it out when some kind of issue raises its ugly head, and think of it as a issue where you dissect it and say, well, how can I get around this? How can I get around this in a healthy way? Now, this is some of my coleslaw, homemade. I like eating all these little dishes. Something I do. Um, and I eat different in the winter as opposed to the summer. Now, in the winter, I really like to eat heavy food, and I'm less active, so that's a problem. So lately, if you watch my videos, in 2019, I'm going to be doing some different exercises to try to maintain my movement, but less inflammation in my body. So yeah. So anyway, it's just about 29 minutes. I think I've said enough. And if you'd like to make a comment, please do. Thumbs up this video, subscribe for my channel, hit the bell. I'm trying to make some pretty good content with the next couple months in 2019, I'm going to really pinpoint some interesting topics that I think that are important to me, and maybe it will be helpful to somebody else. So I thank you. I thank you very much for listening to me today. I really appreciate your time, and just try to keep on going, healthy path. See ya.